Well, 4 videos in 4 weeks. It's gotta be some kind of a record. Okay, so as the title says, we got some awesome new parts to put on the Dyna before we go and shred some ice. Super excited to work with these companies this year, so let's check out the awesome stuff we got. So first up, a few things from Speed Fam. We've got this super awesome billet derby cover, points cover, and this handy little seat screw. Pretty awesome, complete with extra 10 horsepower flamingo. Get back here, you little bastard. Second up from Speed Fam, we've got this super killer ripper seat that I've already covered in my dusty ass handprints. So as you can see, this thing's full grip material front and back, separated by this super badass perforated leather stripe and some gold stitching everywhere for good measure. I wanted to have a full grip seat front and rear. Obviously when I'm 12 o'clocking out, I don't want my butt cheeks sliding off this thing, losing control of the bike. And I put it in the rear too, just in case I have a hot lady passenger and I decide to do a wheelie. I don't really want her to fall off the back, so that's gonna help for that. And last but not least, we've got some Legend Suspension Revo A's. These are hand-built shocks in the USA. These are absolutely amazing build quality. These are custom built, each set. These are built exactly to my spec for my aggressive riding style. And super excited to switch these out from the ones that I got. Super stoked to work with these two companies, and even more stoked to actually have some part support coming into this season. So anyways, enough about that. Let's get cracking. Normally I wouldn't say this, but I'm actually glad I didn't finish working on this thing last time, because this just got a whole lot easier to put all this stuff on. Alright, we need to go get some stuff to continue this little parts upgrade. I can't believe I didn't even need to address this because I've shown snow in probably the last 3 or 4 videos, but I've gotten a bunch of messages and comments of people asking, why don't you make riding videos anymore? That's why. Oh, cops. So I gotta head over to Harley Davidson in Winnipeg and pick up some parts for my bike. I need some upper shock mounts to get those Legend shocks on to fit correctly. The ones on my bike are totally different than what works with those shocks, so we're gonna get those done. I gotta get some different lower hardware for my shocks because I bent the living shit out of the ones on my bike when I was jumping it, and that's actually the only thing that went wrong with my bike during that whole thing. If you're one of the people that have been asking how much stuff I broke when I was doing that, nothing. I bent those bolts, not a big deal. Other than that, get some tranny fluid, a couple other things, and we'll see what else. Let's go. So stoked, got the stuff I need. It was not looking good there for a few minutes. The parts that I needed were gonna be like 3 or 4 weeks out because of back order. And my buddy Devin, who works there, did some digging around and got them. So thank you very much to him. Let's go and put these shocks on. All right, so we got the goods, but these upper shock mounting studs are pretty exposed and, not gonna lie, pretty ugly. But we can take care of that real quick. Let's step into the powder coating room. So a quick little bit about these shocks before I bolt them on. First of all, they're 14 inches long, and the old ones were only 13 and a half, so I'm gonna have plenty more ground clearance, which means I can hit some bigger jumps and go over plenty more stuff. The real big kicker about these things that I'm excited about is, well, first let's show you the old ones. The old ones just have a rubber grommet inside the eyelet, and then a little, can't even get the fucking thing out of there. I can't get that out of there, but anyways, what that means is there's tons of stiction on this shock when it's trying to compress and release, because the shock actually does rotate when the swing arm's going up and down, and it causes a lot of binding doing that. And not only that, it doesn't allow any lateral movement, whereas these use a proper uniball type setup inside the eyelets, which means the shock can rotate freely. It can also pivot side to side, and that's actually really important, because what you don't realize is your swing arm actually does flex quite a bit side to side under normal conditions, which means the shocks have to follow it too. And with this, that ain't happening. With this, you're gonna have proper suspension motion and probably a hell of a lot better ride. And plus, they look pretty cool. Enough bullshitting, just bolt them on. This is what I was talking about. Fully cranked down. I add little stunt pegs on there. No binding, no stiction. All awesome. Let's put the fender and seat on. Hot damn, that looks good. I better put the wheel on to get the full effect. Probably should have cleaned this thing before I did the whole pan and scan. Whatever. So everything's all bolted up. I think it looks sick as hell. Super excited about all this stuff. Huge thank you to Speed Fam and Legend Suspensions for hooking this up. I linked both of their websites down in the description. You can check them out if you like any of this stuff. And I know a bunch of you are going to ask, so in the next video we work on this thing, we're going to solve the handbrake probably and start working on some ice tires. So that's coming next. So while you're down in the description box, make sure you click all the other little links down there. And if you're interested in supporting the channel, make sure you click that Patreon one for sure. And we'll see you again in the next one.